versus lifestyle change. So if you're just joining, my name is Coach Steph. I'm a registered dietitian, personal trainer, mindset transformation coach, and I help women in a one-on-one program to not only, yes, I'm going to teach you how to build a proper nutrition regimen for yourself, but the main things that I coach my clients on are boundaries, our mindset, and getting out of diet mindset, all or nothing, perfectionism that's killing their long-term results. Because I feel like y'all know how to diet, right? Y'all know how to diet, but you have to also embody, if you want to keep those results, right? You have to embody the person who can create that result and sustain it and be that person, not just do something for temporarily. You have to be that person. So what's up, Shannon? So we're going to get into this. So I am really trying to stick to 30 minutes, y'all. So I'm going to be a little bit more disciplined. So as y'all hop on, say hello. What's up, Demina? As y'all hop on, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so I do have a few questions from the Facebook group that I am going to answer, and then I'm going to kind of go into my own little spiel. But I'm going to try to really be to hit 30 minutes today. So if you're just hopping on, we're talking about bad diet versus lifestyle change. And first, kind of what I want to start with is understanding how to identify a fad diet. Because I feel like when we hear things in the media, we hear things on TV, or we hear, a celebrity endorsing something, and we're like, oh my God, look at her great results, right? And it's like this comparison thing. And a few telltale signs that you're dealing with a fad diet. Because if you think about it, ladies, they're trying to sell you something, right? They're trying to sell you something. So if it's a lifestyle, right, you just be living, right? It's not like you have to, I guess people can sell a quote unquote lifestyle, but if you are dealing with a fad diet, typically a fad diet, number one, will cut out a food group or cut out something, whether it be carbohydrates. Back in the day, it used to be cutting out fat, cutting out a meal, right? In order to get this result. It's all about the result. And this is huge. I'm getting into it quickly. It's really huge because the diet is all about the result. It's all about getting from point A to point Z, right? And then it's like they don't tell you what else to do after that. In what? Right? It's never really talking about and valuing the process, right? It's not about valuing your habits. It's about valuing, look at this end result that I got. And so some of y'all are so focused on trying to get this end result that you forget that once you get to the end result, you actually have to keep it. And that means that I got to show up different. That means that I'm not just doing this because I have a vacation coming up. This means that I am not just doing this because, my birthday is coming up. It means that I have to actually embody the person that can create this result. So number one telltale sign you're dealing with a fad diet is it cuts out something, either a food group or a meal time, or it's restrictive. What I like to call it is add talk versus subtract talk. Typically, when you're dealing with a fad diet, they're going to be highly focused on taking things away. What can you not have? And so when people come to me, they're like, hey, tell me what I can eat and tell me what I can't eat. Right. And so if my clients ask me, I just had a client recently, just a few minutes ago, ask, hey, is this okay? And it's not that everything is okay. I always kind of struggle to answer that question because it's you can't eat anything, right? You have to understand what else you ate today, and put that into context. What kind of portion are you having of that? How frequently are you having that, right? So it's not about cutting out things, it's about adding things. So I like to add in more fruits and vegetables, more water, right? More of the healthy carbohydrates, more protein, so that it naturally displaces some of the other junk that we might be eating. Hey, ladies, thanks for hopping on. Hey, Regina, Michelle, Valerie, Jayla, Colette, Yolanda. Hey, ladies. So, all right. So, number one is going to cut out food groups or food meal times. Number two, it makes certain foods sound like bad foods to have or superfoods, right? Like you have to have this one thing. Like if you're not eating avocado, then you're missing out. Or if you're not eating chia seeds, or if you're not eating ashwagandha, then it's no good, right? And so it makes it sound super polarized. Here's what, and this is all mindset, like all of this is mindset. It's buyer psychology for one, because our brains like certainty. And if someone says, if you cut out your meal times or cut out this certain food group and you add this superfood, then you will get results. And our brain likes to have that certainty to say, hey, if I do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to get my result. Our brain likes that. So that's why we have a tendency to be like really tempted to try these diets that you hear a lot in the media. But the fact is, here's the truth, is that if you cut out meat, right? If you cut out meat, you can be healthy. If you eat meat, you can be healthy, right? If you eat chia seeds, you can be healthy. If you don't eat chia seeds, you can still be healthy and be at a normal weight, right? And so that's ambiguity, and it's kind of fuzzy. It's a little bit gray area, right? It takes actually some skill, right? It takes some a certain skill set to understand your diet within the context of everything else that you're eating. And so cutting out foods or food groups, saying that you have to have this certain food, or, the doctors don't want you to know you're not supposed to have this food, right? That's a telltale sign. Requiring supplements to work is another telltale sign that you're dealing with a fad or some sort of regimen that won't be long-term. Are you really going to eat or drink shakes for the rest of your life? Now, I've taken protein supplements before, like protein shakes. I got some pre-workout right now in my cabinet because I feel like during the wintertime, it's a little bit harder for me to make myself get up and go to the gym. I take my pre-workout, I'll go to the gym. But I don't need that to like stay fit, right? Like I don't have to have that. So like there's nothing wrong with taking a supplement. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with protein supplements, all that. But when you're talking about lifetime, we're talking about a lifestyle, right? Like I don't always there's seasons of my life where I take like protein powder or whatever, but that's not all the time. And so if you're cutting out breakfast and just eating a shake that you have to buy, is that sustainable? Like ask yourself, is that sustainable? Is that what I want to do for the rest of my life? Because once you get this result that this diet is promising, you have to keep the result. You can't go back. And if you skip the journey of learning and developing like how your body deals with certain foods and what works for you, your habits, your thought processes, setting up your environment, then once you get the result, you won't know how to keep it unless you continue doing that thing, right? Another telltale sign is that it goes against science. So it'll say, oh, the industry doesn't, or doctors don't want you to know about this secret thing that you have to be doing in order to get this super result, right? Another telltale sign. And then two more: rigid rules for eating, saying you have to eat this and you can't eat this, right? Or something that seems too good to be true. So y'all, I see all the time in the Facebook groups where it's talking about like, oh, if you want to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, I think even JJ Smith, if y'all follow her, I love JJ, but I just don't subscribe to 30 pounds in 30 days is you're not just losing fat, right? So if you just want to get to a scale weight, okay. But that's not all fat. It's almost impossible to lose 30 pounds of fat if you're not like, you know, 500 or 600 pounds or something like that. If you're, you know, a person who is taking in some sort of nutrients and you don't have some sort of like cancer or something like metabolically wrong, not only are you losing fat, you're losing muscle, you're losing water weight. And so you want to make sure that you're not just so hyper focused. Hey, Stephanie, you're not just hyper focused on just the outcome, just the scale. Okay. So that's a few telltale signs. Now, I am going to answer a few of y'all's questions. Let me check the chat real quick. Hello, Carolyn, Jayla. What about it? Yeah, see, okay, so I was just talking about this. The liver detox program and pills, it's like, are you going to take that forever? Like, say you take the pills, then what? Right? Like, that doesn't, the thing I don't like about that whole thing, like taking liver detox pills and all that, number one, it doesn't address emotional eating. It doesn't address imposter syndrome because when you lose weight, a lot of my clients still don't feel like they can be consistent and they're constantly thinking that they're going to revert back. It doesn't help you set boundaries. It doesn't really increase your health because if you're taking pills to lose weight, are you eating right? Are you exercising? What skills have you learned in order to make a proper plate? And then we really don't even know because supplements aren't regulated by the FDA. So unless it has like that third party seal on it, you really don't know what it has in it. I'm just not a big fan, to answer your question about that. So how do you feel about Herbalife or meal replacement shakes? Again, I don't have anything against like taking a protein supplement. I don't know about a meal replacement only because, again, that's really simple, right? It's really easy to just drink a shake instead of eat. But are you going to do that forever? Because then when you start eating again and you don't know how to build a proper plate, you're eating too large of portions, you're eating too many carbs on your plate versus protein and fat, like it only got you to a certain result. And then what? Right? So I'm going to actually answer some of y'all's other questions too. I forgot to pull them up. And I know one of them was, how do you, after you've been dieting, how do you then switch over into a lifestyle change? And here's my answer to that. Number one, you have to understand why you're doing this. I think that a lot of us think that, okay, my diet worked, but did it? Like, our brain will offer us some really interesting thoughts. And did your diet really work if you're back at square one every few months? Right? Like, did your diet really work if you still don't know how to build a proper plate? Right? Not to mention that if you are a yo-yo dieter, there's typically something that's underneath that the diet will never help, right? So a lot of my clients will want to get to a certain weight because they think they're going to feel a certain way. And their brain is telling them that, well, if I get to this certain weight, then I can be happy, or then I will be confident, when happiness and confidence is already available to you and you're not tapping into it now. But you think that being at a certain weight is going to get you there, and it's not. It's not going to help you to feel that feeling because that feeling is available now and you're not tapping into it. So there's typically something else underneath that, which is why I coach the way that I coach. I am not a therapist, but several of my clients are like, okay, this is like therapy. And it's because, yes, I'm talking about nutrition. I'm teaching you how to make a proper plate, but we're also talking about why you don't trust yourself, why you don't trust yourself with your goals, why you don't trust yourself with, I had a client one time who was like getting a promotion and she was like, Coach, I don't know what's going to happen. They brought cake and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, either have a piece of cake or don't, right? Like neither one is a problem. Like you have to trust yourself, right? And so fad diets or even just somebody giving you a meal plan isn't going to address any of that, right? So you knowing what your deep why, I'm not talking about these superficial whys, y'all. I'm not talking about, oh, I need to look cute on the beach, because that's never going to be enough for you to be this person, to live a life that you show up every day or most days and dig into a why. It has to be deeper than that, right? So you got to know your why. You have to understand why you're doing this. And that has to be more important. You have to think to yourself, okay, what do I want more in this moment? Do I want to, pig out on this cake or ice cream, whatever? Or do I want my health? Do I want to be off this medication? Do I want to feel, do I want to see self-love or have self-love when I take photos, right? Am I going to hide from photos for the rest of my life? Am I going to be wearing baggy clothes so I can cover myself up? Am I going to be hiding? Am I going to be scared to be seen every day? Like, what do you want more, right? So is your fad diet really working? Because if you keep coming back to this point, it's not working, right? It's not working. And so a lot of times if you're struggling with being able to see yourself as a person who can keep the result, and you keep kind of recreating the same chaos, the same issue, which is I lose weight for a little bit and then I gain it again, it's not the food. Because you know how to diet, you know how to lose weight. It's not the exercise. It's right here. This right here is what's recreating your yo-yo dieting, your up and down weight. And it's really hard, especially for those of you who have a lot of self-loathing and self-hatred and you're just a mean girl to yourself. It's really hard to build a body that you love from a place of hate. It's really hard to build a body that you love and can keep if you don't accept yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you hate your body when you look in the mirror. It's kind of hard to build something positive from those negative thoughts. Okay. So I went on a tangent, but hopefully that answered your question. So Irene asks, my biggest thing is knowing what I should eat or what I shouldn't eat, or how to substitute for healthier options. I don't want to be consistently racking my brain when it's time to eat. So one of the things, Irene, I highly recommend is that you build a system for yourself. So after creating a plan for yourself, maybe, 4 weeks or 5 weeks in a row, just recycle those meal plans. And if you want something a little bit different, change one menu. Change one recipe or one meal in that week's recipe to kind of switch it up a little bit. But you shouldn't have to rack your brain because we typically eat a lot of the same foods anyway. So keep a record of about 4 or 5 weeks and then just recycle your meal plans that you've made. And when I say meal plan, I just mean, let me put a protein, let me put some veggies. Sometimes let me have a carb, right? It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be like super complicated. So knowing what you should eat and knowing what you shouldn't eat. So that, Irene, is kind of similar to what I was talking about before, like of the diet culture of tell me what I can eat and what I can't. The fact of the matter is you can eat just about anything, right? Depends on your frequency, depends on your portions, right? So I'll say this again for anyone who's popping on, add talk versus subtract talk, ladies. Add to your diet before you take away. Add more water, right? So if you're focused on getting in half your body weight in water, what you're not focused on is soda, lemonade, sweet tea, right? It naturally displaces your energy, your mindset, the thoughts that are consuming your energy. If you're focused on that, what you're not focused on is giving, energy to stuff that doesn't serve you. Add more fruits and veggies to your diet. Before taking anything away, say, okay, I have to get, 3 servings of fruit and 3 servings of veggies before I can have like this piece of cake or whatever else, fast food, whatever. When you do that and you prioritize that at the front end, you won't even want the other stuff. You won't have room for it, right? So hopefully that answers your question there. So how do I stay motivated and focused? So Shanna, I hope, because I have a freebie, a 5-day free mini series where we talk about motivation, being consistent. It's in my coaching app. If y'all go to my profile, you can click the link, and it's one of the options in there if you want that freebie. How do you stay motivated? You got to know, Shanna, what motivates you. What motivates you? What is your real reason for wanting this? And you have to go back to that. So you have to coach your own brain, y'all. Just because your brain says, oh, I'm tired, I'm not going to go to the gym today, doesn't mean that you have to accept that. So I like to, number one, you have to coach your own brain and like, don't accept that initial thought, right? And then you have to break it down. So don't focus on the whole workout. Focus on the baby step of just putting on your shoes, of just putting on some music so that you can, put on your workout playlist, put on your clothes, right? Can you get your energy behind that? Break it up into micro steps. Just get started for 5 minutes. You can get your energy behind 5 minutes, right? It doesn't have to be this big thing. Before you know it, you'll have that hour workout done. But if you focus on the big thing that you're just resisting, your brain is going to offer you something else to do because it doesn't really want to go to the gym for an hour, right? You have to work on your mindset. You want to stay motivated? You have to work on your mindset. Are you working on that? Are you working on practicing thinking the thoughts that you need to think in order to take the action that you need to take? There's a like a little motivational clip with Michelle Obama talking about how you have to practice being the woman that you want to be. You're not just going to wake up and just be her and just live this lifestyle and think, easy habits is just going to happen. Are you practicing? Are you practicing overcoming your own objections to when it's time to go meal prep? Are you practicing seeing yourself as the person who has this lifestyle? Recently in my group, my Facebook group, we had a 7-day affirmation challenge. And I was having people write affirmations. And one of my clients was like, hey, how do you write good affirmations? And I was like, oh, what I'm realizing is a lot of you ladies are having a hard time looking at yourself where you're at and then seeing your higher self, seeing your CEO self, right? There's a disconnect. And I'm like, wow, there's such an opportunity. And which is why I did an affirmation training. So if you're having a hard time, like connecting to and like visualizing yourself as this CEO self, how you can move yourself from where you're at into just possibility, just like opening a window of possibility, like, oh, okay, I could be different, or things could be different, or I can see myself, a possibility of myself, growing into my higher self. And practice doing that. Practice seeing yourself. Visualization is such a powerful, easy tool every morning. Sit right in that bed. When your alarm goes off, take 5 minutes and just visualize yourself like how you really would like to show up in your highest and best self. You have to practice that. All right, let's see. All right, so Kathy says, what do you suggest macros should be if you're doing a low carb diet? So, I mean, there's really not a definition of like what's quote unquote low carb. My suggestion is this. I start out most of my clients at 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. Weigh yourself weekly and then tweak your macros based on what your weekly weight is saying. So if you are accurate, right, and consistent with your macros in MyFitnessPal at 40, 30, 30, and it doesn't give you the result that you want, then bring it down to 35 carbs, right, and maybe bump the protein up that extra 5% to 40, right? So you can tweak your macros like that based on your body, because your body's going to tell you if you're in a calorie deficit or not. And actually, that's my next live is how to create a calorie deficit. So if y'all are not already in the Facebook group, go ahead and go to the Facebook group, RSVP for that, because I will be breaking that down next Monday, every Monday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, let's see. What other questions y'all have? Okay, so this was a funny one. Yolanda. So for those that typically drink a glass of wine at night, what alternatives for drinks are there? I know this is about lifestyle changes that are sustainable. So swapping out my sweet wine for water or yoga breathing ain't it. I get it, Yolanda. So here's the thing. I don't know if y'all don't use MyFitnessPal. I don't love to track my food, but I think if you haven't ever, it's a good skill to learn, and it's something that you can. It'll help you to see how much of like carbs, fat, calories that your food has. So there's nothing wrong with really having a glass of, did you say red wine? Red wine at night, right? Nothing wrong with that. Are you doing it? Does that like give you a buzz, or like, why are you doing that, Yolanda? I would say that the most calorie efficient way to drink is take a shot. That's the facts. So if you take a shot, I'm not advocating that y'all do that, but if you want to just take a shot, that's a lot less calories, typically, a lot less volume, get it in. But having a glass of red wine, I don't think it's that bad. So it sounded like you thought it was a problem, but I don't really see it as like a huge problem, to be honest. Unless you're drinking the whole bottle every night, I think it's fine, actually. Let's see what other questions y'all have. Okay, let's go to this group. I fell in love with Orange Theory, but with the new mask rule, I'm just unmotivated. I feel like I'm going to pass out. Yeah, I mean, it's a little tough nowadays. I would say I can't work out in a mask either. Might have to just switch gyms. I don't know. Maybe switch gyms or work out at home, but I totally feel you with that. So harmful effects. Okay, I'm a little bit over. I'm gonna go 5 more minutes, and then y'all let me know if y'all have any other questions. But harmful effects of fad diet. So, few things. Number one, when you lose fat too fast, I'm actually just gonna say this, and then I'm gonna go into lifestyle change. When you lose fat too fast, again, a lot of times you're losing fat, but you're also losing muscle. And this is very, very bad. Muscle is active tissue, and you are decreasing your metabolism when you lose weight too fast. So we've all seen people who like lost weight. Oh my God, this like amazing transformation, but they look very, how do I say? You can just tell. You can just tell, like, oh, okay, you lost weight, but it was just like super duper fast. And so that a lot of times that's like when people do the liquid diets, you didn't have enough protein. You are decreasing your metabolism every time you do that. So you do a fad diet, you lose weight really fast, and then you gain it back, you gain back fat, and then you do it again. You lose weight really quickly and you lost some more muscle, and then when you gain it back, you are gaining it back only fat. So fat percentage wise, you're actually getting fatter and fatter, that you have more adipose tissue than you did when you started. Not a good thing. Okay. So we want to transition into a lifestyle change. What does a lifestyle change mean? It means that this is part of my, oh, it's on my calendar. This is on my calendar. My workouts are on my calendar. It's integrated into my life. And it doesn't even have to be workouts, y'all. Y'all don't think you have to go to the gym and pound the gym and like lift weight. No, you can say, okay, I'm gonna go for a hike, or I'm gonna go roller skate. Like, you can do multiple things. You can just live an active lifestyle. How can you have more fun with this? Right? So a lifestyle is more about encompassing balance and understanding like week 1 is going to look different from week 2, from week 3, and that is consistency. Y'all think that consistency is perfection, and it's not. Consistency is not perfection, right? Consistency also is not a feeling, y'all. Consistency is just a decision. Consistency is just troubleshooting. Consistency is just ditching the perfectionism. So in a lifestyle, your physical activity is woven into your life. You eating healthy is not like, oh, I'm on a diet, so let me eat this broccoli. When you go out, you not always eat super duper healthy. It is not about always having the most healthy thing on your plate. Because a lot of y'all are like, well, what about almond flour versus regular flour? Like, it's not even about any of that. It's just about balance. It's about mindfulness and decision making. Do I have some protein on my plate? Do I have vegetables? Am I eating 3 or 4 vegetables every day? Some of y'all, if y'all just did that alone and leave this lemonade and stuff and Sonic big cups alone, you would make massive progress. Instead of waiting for the perfect diet or the perfect life situation in order to know exactly how it's supposed to go. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. You can literally drink more water, eat more vegetables, have protein on your plate every single time you eat, and move more. And just be consistent with that. The problem is when you're not tracking, right? Like when you're not like really tracking your calories, it might be slower than you anticipate. And because it's slower than you anticipate, a lot of y'all make that a problem and you quit, or you think it's not working, so I might as well eat McDonald's for a week. But if you were to have kept going, it might have been slower than you wanted, but you would have got there. Right? So a lifestyle is not about tell me what to eat and what not to eat. That's not a lifestyle. I don't think about foods that I should eat and foods that I shouldn't eat. I never think that thought. Now, what I do is when I do go to the grocery store, because I don't go to the grocery store anymore. I just order my groceries. But when I did, I don't go down the chip and cookie aisle because there's nothing there for me. I don't go down those aisles. I don't go down the soda aisle. Right? I don't drink soda ever. Ever. I actually really love water too, but there's a few weeks, I don't think I've been to the gym in a while. I don't make it a problem. You know why? Because I know me. and I'm going to go back to the gym more regularly, like probably towards the end of this week. I don't make it a problem. I don't think, oh, damn, I missed my workout today, so I have to start over next week. A lot of us are just making problems when there is no problem. Right? So creating a lifestyle is about balance. Creating a lifestyle is about, I think one of the things is that y'all think that it means that it'll be simple or it'll be easy. Like the journey is never easy. Like if you lost a pound, that wasn't easy, right? If you got to your goal weight, that's not easy. To maintain your goal weight is not easy. You will get better though. You will get better at managing your own mind, at making decisions, at incorporating your healthy lifestyle and your healthy activities into your life. So if you're not checking in with yourself weekly or every other week to say, okay, where am I? Am I still on track? Am I, how many times did I go to the gym, or how many times did I get my physical activity in? Like auditing your diet, like, am I eating enough vegetables? Right. I have my clients take photos of their food in their app, and to just lay that out for them for a week to say, okay, this is what you've been eating. It's kind of eye-opening. It's like, oh, okay, I'm actually eating more fried foods than I thought, or else I'm actually eating out more than I thought, right? That self-awareness is huge. So first, always just start out with an audit. What are you doing right now? What are some small tweaks that I can change? It's never going to be easy. If you're waiting for it to be easy, you will always be waiting. It will never get easier. The Instagram stars that you see on Instagram who have all the muscles, it's not easy. They have gotten better at overcoming their own objections, overcoming their own negotiation in their mind, and they go to the gym anyway. Right? Let me check these comments real quick. Okay, so if you're moving towards plant-based food, is there such a thing as overeating vegetables? Any calories, like technically, Miss Ann Williams, you could, but I tell my clients typically that they can have as many non-starchy veggies as they want. Why? Non-starchy vegetables typically have roughly around 25 calories per serving. A serving is about the size of your fist. So it's like, it's hard to overeat, especially if you're eating like raw vegetables or vegetables that have been lightly cooked. It has so much fiber in it. It has so much water content. It's really hard to overdo vegetables. So technically you could, right? And it also depends on like what else you're also eating. But when I say vegetables, I really do mean like vegetables, not like, stuff that was made out of vegetables, right? I'm just talking about whole foods here. No, Buzz post kids work wind down. Okay. What about fasting? So do you want to fast regularly? If you like not eating, here's the thing too. I don't really like fasting for weight loss. Like I've heard that there's other benefits other than weight loss for fasting, but I don't like fasting as a way to lose weight because it doesn't address any of the underlying issues. So I'm not a fan of that for weight loss. Okay, let's see if I let me go to my group too, because I think there was another question. So we talked about how to identify fad diet, cuts out whole food groups or meal times. It categorizes foods as good or bad. It requires you to have a supplement. It goes against science, right? It seems too good to be true, or it's like a drastic change. So if you think about it, like if you want this to be a lifestyle, why are you in a rush? Like, why are you rushing to get to a scale weight when this is supposed to be a lifestyle? And you would do much better if you would release the attachment to a certain scale weight. Okay. Um, so the things that are going to work long term are creating healthy habits and focusing more on your process, focusing more on your habits. I need you to track your habits more than you track your weight. I need you to track your healthy habits more than you're tracking your weight. I need you to eat more veggies, right? Use the plate rule where you're looking at your food, you have protein, you have veggies, and most of the time, most meals, you have a carb. Um, I need you to prepare your environment. Is your environment set up? Is your kitchen a safe place to be? Or do you have a whole bunch of junk in there? Right? Who are you hanging out with? Are you hanging out with a whole bunch of people who don't have the same health goals as you? You might need to find some friends that are on the same journey, right? And have you addressed your emotional eating? That's what a fad diet doesn't address, is your emotional eating. Are you working on your mindset? Are you working on seeing yourself at your highest and best self? Right? So, how do you start? If you've been fad dieting, how do you start transitioning into a lifestyle? Number one, you change small things at a time. You do an audit, you change one or two things, and you work on that. I want you to keep it super duper simple. The simpler you can make it, the more consistency you'll have. And that's what you need, right? Consistency is key. That's what you need, but you need to make your process very simple. Okay. And then just be patient with yourself. Again, if this is a lifestyle, why are you rushing it? Okay. So there are certain seasons in your life where you'll need to be a little bit more strict with your calories, right? But make that simple too. It doesn't have to, you don't have to weigh all of your food and calculate every gram. You're making it too complicated. And that's the reason why you haven't been successful long term. It's not because what you're doing is wrong. You've just been making it way too complicated. Okay. Let me check. Any other questions, y'all? What about fasting? Thanks for answering. Excellent question. Any other questions, y'all? So, what I want y'all to take away from this is this: keep it simple. Work on your mindset, because your mind is what is keeping you from having the results that you want and being able to keep it. Your fad diet, the diets that need a celebrity endorsement to tell you to, cut out a meal or to not eat a certain food group. They need celebrity paid people to come and tell you to do this. Don't that sound a little funny to you? Right? Like they're trying to sell you something. It is not complicated, right? Like weight loss in and of itself is simple. It's not easy though, right? Like I do know that it's definitely not easy, but you can do it if you simplify the process, you work on your mindset, because your thoughts are what's recreating. If you find that you are spending more energy and more time focusing on your barriers, how tired you are, how much time you don't have, you're going to create more of that. So that whole self-awareness of just understanding, okay, why am I spending so much time on the barriers, on what I can't do? Because you are subconsciously recreating that, right? Keep it simple. Ooh, I like it. Keep it simple, sexy. I like that, Rebecca. I love if it's a lifestyle. Why are you rushing? I'm so used to quick fixes that don't last. Yeah. And so it's like if you would have taken, right, like from your quick fix and just stayed the course, worked on your mindset, worked on your self-talk, worked on your self-coaching, being able to get your energy behind things that sometimes are you have some resistance to, that's motivation, right? Motivation really is like, can I get my energy behind taking some action on this? If you worked on that alone, do you see how like your mindset is your mindset? If you just worked on how can I start training my mind to take action when I'm feeling resistance to something that I know I should do, like I need to do, that's going to be beneficial for me. Can I work on my mindset so that when it's time for me to be active or eat well, I can take that action? That's a mindset thing. That is not, I mean, it is nutrition and fitness, but it starts with how you're thinking about it. Right? So, are you working on your mindset? This is why I coach with mindset, because there's so many things, especially as Black women, we are dealing with so much stuff. And my clients are dealing with trauma. They're dealing with feeling not worthy to say no to other people so that they can go to the gym. They're dealing with hating looking in the mirror and not loving themselves, not accepting their body that, shows up for them every day. Our body shows up for us. I'm 38 years old. I forget how many, times your heart will beat in a day, but like my body has never failed me, right? Your body is not failing. If you're watching this, your body has not failed you. Why are you hating your body? Right? Like, where can you find love and compassion for this body that's showing up for you every day? And how can you build a body that you love from that place? Right? Like, there's so many other things that a fad diet won't address. Your self loathing, a fad diet won't address that. Right? So you got to get to the root. If you've been struggling with body image issues, hating getting on the scale, hating seeing yourself in the mirror, or taking pictures, constantly hiding yourself, wrapping your purse around your stomach, all that. Like, if you've been struggling with that, I'm here to help. Right? I have coached women who have, lots of just mindset blocks that they've been hitting a wall every single time, and it's taken, their self-esteem has taken a hit. And like I said, I'm not a therapist, but I have coached many, many women and have seen the patterns, and I can help you to see yourself in a different way so that you can show up in a different way, so that you don't have to keep repeating this cycle. So this can be one and done, not let me lose these 10 pounds and then regain them. Okay. So if you're watching and you want to talk about what one-on-one coaching would look like, you can check the link in the description and book a call with me for one-on-one coaching. So if there's no other questions, I hope this was helpful, y'all. I'm coming on next week to talk about how to create a calorie deficit. Also, I got an idea today too. I got an idea to do a workshop, but y'all let me know if y'all would be interested in this. So I'm thinking it would be like 4 or 5 days. Like, it would be 3 days of y'all in my coaching app, and I would provide trainings of how I would want you to set up your MyFitnessPal, and you could start inputting food. I would show you how to do all of that. And then the 4th day, it would be on Zoom in a big group, and I would teach you how to, or what to look for, like what food you need to be looking for based on your data. And throughout the 4 days, I could actually give you like personal feedback. Let me know if y'all would be interested in doing that. If you're one of my clients or a past client, because my clients get anything that I do that's a paid thing for free once they sign up. My clients and past clients are free. But if there's anyone else who would want to do that and who need that kind of help and support, let me know if that would be helpful for you. So I'm going to hop off of here, ladies. Join me next week. If you're wanting coaching, you can click the link in the description, and I'm going to get off of here. So Instagram, until next time, thank you, Marva, for watching. I'll see y'all next Monday. All right, Facebook. Thanks for watching, ladies, and I'll see you next time. And that